Ulonkata bati yada tó yẹ kó máa da ifá. Inú tó yẹ kó jẹun ló fi bí pa. Ọba tálá, ọba takuntakun. Ṣàngó, Èṣù, Ògún, Ọya, Ọ̀ṣun. Ìwọ ló ń bọ̀ nílé. Kí ni ìṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o? Ó jẹ́ lọ jára rẹ̀.
Alafia, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Experience. I am your host, Orisha, and we back, family. We back once again with the Big Chief Pontiac, Big Chief Rod Hayes in the building. Peace and blessings. What's good with you, Big Chief?
What it do? What it do?
Oh man, you know what it
Tell
is.
me what's new.
Nothing under the sun, I can tell you that. But we come to brain bang and have some fun. That's what I got.
Yeah, you know what's red and what's blue.
Yes, sir.
You know what happens when you combine the two?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I do. 21 gun salute, dressed in fatigues, black jeans, and boots.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So yeah, shout out to the tribe that's been making their ways, to finding us on these other platforms as we kind of take our little vacation that we'll be back on pretty soon. The tribe, real quick too. I'm gonna go ahead and share the cash apps real quick, for y'all to show some love to Big Chief for doing what he do and being where he be out here in these Ashe streets. But also, like I said, I want to shout out all the people who've been showing love and sharing the information as we kind of maneuver through some of these potholes in the road right now. But I'm ready to let it go and let it do what it do and be what it be. And so that's what I got. Big Chief, you ready to get this thing cracking?
Stay ready, don't get ready.
Yes, sir. So we got a lot going on, man. With the cosmos. I think we just had the 777. I think what was a Stargate portal or something like that, and all these alignments with different planets and all that. But then we got all these storms and these floods. And I had a call earlier. And I was talking about the different times that this planet has been through what we call, I guess, the Great Flood, the Noah story, and a bunch of other ones, and then, as well as in E5, they got some dope art that I got to share on the channel in the Oni's Palace in Ile Ife. They have a beautiful mural where they kind of break down some of the previous floods that trace back to the times of Oduduwa. And I saw that. I was like, yo, that's dope, because this is a real reputable image that I'm seeing that, is in the Palace of the Oni. So I know that predates what we have seen in the King James book. So it's like, this is something that we know has happened on the planet, but there's a lot of distorted narratives on like what's happened. And then also I had a meeting yesterday. Shout out to the brothers I was with yesterday. And one of the brothers had a presentation that was dope. And he broke down how the Sphinx is like at least 800,000 years old, right? So, and we based that off, his presentation, we based it off of the ley lines of, the different heights of the altitude of the water that kind of, I guess, impacted the Sphinx. So with that, I know with your mind, man, I know you got a whole lot that, you're going to take us around the corner and through another star system and all that good stuff. But when it comes to these things like floods, the great floods and all this, like where does that tie into everything that's transpiring right now with so much transpiring right now?
We live in cycles. Right? If it happened before, it's going to happen again. If you don't learn from it, you keep repeating it. But the only thing that a lot of people don't get is the last world flood wasn't a flood. It was an ice age. The sediment that they seeing is from the melting of the ice age. It's in the permafrost. Right? The ice age have not completely receded. It's not completely gone. We're going from the lunar cycle to the sun cycle, but it's a man-made, artificial, created cycle that's the side effect or aftermath of a nuclear holocaust during one of the Anunnaki wars. So when the nuclear winter froze everything, that's how they killed the dinosaurs. That was one nuclear winter. That was one of the first wars that killed the dinosaurs that they told us was a meteor shower. It wasn't a meteor shower. It was a shower of missiles. And these missiles was radioactive, nuclear grade missiles. And so this is what killed the dinosaurs off. But the ones that stayed closest to the equator, alligators, crocodiles, monitor lizards, Komodo dragons, giant snapping turtles, giant garfish, was able to live under the water because of something called hot spring sprouts that spring up under the water. So that kept them alive. And a lot of the reptiles, because the temperature around them was so cold, they just was in a hibernated state. Some of them was even froze. Right? And a lot of the amphibians, you freeze them in the winter, in summertime they thaw out. Frogs, yeah. But anyway, this is why you still have remnants. Everything that ever was here, there's a remnant of it that's in existence.
Yeah.
The cancer today is not the descendant of the saber-toothed tiger. The saber-toothed tiger was his own species. But the felines that the modern day cat came from, right, they ain't even from here. The modern cats is because one of the nuclear holocausts wiped out all of the ancient animals around the planet. So they had to repopulate them with animals from other places. The Lyrans obliged us with the different species of cat that's been here for the longest. They brought them from home.
Now, listen, I know what the Lyrans are, but I'm going to bring it up because I'm sure there's going to be people who may not. So the Lyrans, if I'm not mistaken, right, these are the beings that we see that have the head of a feline, but the body of a humanoid. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, and you looking in the hieroglyphics, you'll see Sekhmet, you'll see Bast, and there's a few other ones. I don't remember all of the names, and I was going back over some of my stuff, and I had a whole bunch of critical errors. Ancestors correct me on the last one I did with you because I was saying Olo de Madre when it was another whole Orisha. I was calling the wrong name, but the information was right.
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 And I knew what
and
you were talking about.
They weren't mad either. They was like, hey, you know you did that wrong. And I'm looking around, I'm like, who the fuck said that?
Listen.
I think it was Eshu. I was making reference to the story of Eshu, but I was calling him Olo Damare. And the next day I got up, I had a heavy ass Ogun knock. Boom! I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I go outside, I'm looking around, and then I see these signs, right? And I start reading the signs and what the signs are saying. And the signs were saying, okay, now you made an error, but you need to correct it. So remember, I immediately messaged you.
Yeah,
right. And they told me, look, on my news feed, it popped up. Ola Mare and Eshu, both of their videos popped up.
Wow.
And that's not even in my algorithm.
Yeah, it's in there now.
So they were telling me, then I was like, I wonder if the information I think I'm getting right. And then I picked my phone up, I opened up YouTube, and it's like, who is Olo Damare? And scroll down a little bit, they were like, who is Eshu? And I was like, oh man, they about to whoop my ass. They're like, no, we ain't gonna get you. The information was right, you just got the names mixed up. Well, I've been horrible with names since birth.
Listen, that's why I didn't trip, because I knew what you were talking about. And honestly, I was thinking you meant Orumila, but then when we
they said you knew what I was talking about.
Well, I knew.
They told me you knew exactly what I was talking about, but you just didn't correct the story. Next time, correct that shit, man. Don't let that shit go.
Well, don't
worry about it. Let's be past it now.
And I hate interrupting sometimes, but then I be getting them download like what you talking about now. That's when I have to interrupt, because the download is so strong and so clear. I feel like if I don't, we both know what happened, and I don't want that. So I'd rather just go ahead and respectfully interrupt so I can get it into them. But that one, because I felt like I knew what you were saying, I wholeheartedly feel like a vast majority of the
I heard my mama say, baby, you the only one can get away with this shit.
Listen,
I'm like, what the
that's
fuck
the real
did I
thing.
do? That's how I woke up. Like, well, I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I'm the only one to get away with what?
Bro, that's a real thing, man. Look, I had a private community call like a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about ancestral shrines. And matter of fact, shout out to Wunam because she was on that one with me too. And when we were talking about it, we were laying out different ways and how to create a consecrated shrine properly. And one of the things that I made sure that I shared with the tribe that was in there, like, yo, make sure if you put a picture up on your ancestral shrine, don't put a picture with you or anyone else who's living in that picture, because that can be a problem that can get really, really, you know what I'm saying? It can go bad real quick. But excuse me, that's the part where when you said that, it really is a real thing. But I know you wasn't facing none of that because I know they know you knew what you
They
was talking
just told me to correct it. They told me to message you so we can correct it on the next time we go live, and here we is correcting it.
about. Nah, Shay. Yes, sir.
I thought it was good. I thought I was gonna slip by for a minute. The ancestor was like, "Nah, we ain't gonna let this slide. We already gave you the pass, sucker. You got it. You got the pass. You probably was high as a satellite when you said it. So we gave you a pass, but you ain't gonna forget. We ain't gonna
Listen,
let you forget."
I know that's right. It was funny as you said. Ogun, I think, was the first one that started with the big knot. Today's Ogun Day today too, so you better say Baba Ogunye because yeah, today is his day when it comes to the calendar. Yes, sir. So look, and that means that the technology, we got to make sure we.
No, that ain't even the kicker.
What
Remember
was it?
when you asked me if I was gonna do something tonight, and then what did I text back? It was a set
Oh
of
shit!
numbers. Remember?
Oh man, let me look because I don't want to miss. Let me see. I see. Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't. How did I miss that? Bro, I ain't even. That's crazy.
A few minutes ago, you was quoting Pot.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
All right, now I did
yeah.
some business and I had 9/11 left
Mm,
right before it was time, about 8 o'clock, maybe
mm,
8:30. As soon as
mm.
I seen that, I said, "Damn, I got 9/11 left." I was like, I just texted that
Yeah,
to Orisha.
bro,
What
that's
the
crazy.
hell?
Yeah. What the hell, Yante? Yes, sir.
So there's two songs come to mind. One about the name, the Houdini song. When my man say, MCs come, but when we rumble, some think we shy just because I'm humble. So all you MCs hope you're real good listeners, because in this battle, I'm taking no prisoners. Slaying MCs right on the spot, because I'm the master of the rap, the doctor of the rock. Oh man, I forgot how it go. But he say what you want, just spell my name right. Because all I'm ever guilty of is rocking the house. But that's not what the rumor was all about.
Mm. Yes, sir.
And then that Tupac, when you brought up Tupac, I was just sitting there and I was hearing the song in my head. 911, it's an emergency. Cowards tried to murder me from the hoods to the burbs. Every one of you suckers hurting me. I'm legendary, nigga scary, you paralyzed. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, Pop turning up, man.
Look, Biggie been knocking for 3 days.
Oh, listen, I don't got no problem going there either. Armed and dangerous. Can't too many can bang with us. Look, I don't got no problem going notorious thug either, man. Cause look, it's a big biggie house too. Big house. But yeah, you know
Nigga,
what? Listen,
please, let's flood your dungarees. And that's just the half of a warpath. Laugh now, cry later. And greater than your average player hater.
yes, Frank White. Listen, look, and okay. So now I remember you were saying something about like the water and all that, and I know it is some stuff that we've been pontificating. We've been talking about it, throwing around that's going on in like that time and September around that time and Earth, Wind and Fire. Do you remember? September and all that. But when it comes to like with all that, when you were going in with the floods and all that stuff, I was thinking too, and you said that we're still in the old ice age. Does that how does the ice walls and all that stuff like over there in Antarctica, does any of that kind of tie into what we're seeing with maybe some of the
It's not a
floods and stuff?
wall, it's a shelf. It's a
Oh,
difference.
okay.
You can
Mm,
circumnavigate Antarctica, but people think that Antarctica wraps around the world
mm,
and that the North Pole is in the center because the Earth is flat. but you can circumnavigate Antarctica. Antarctica is written about in the Book of Enoch, and it's called Tartarus.
Yep.
The topography under the ice is Tartarus.
Mm-hmm.
You remember in the Holy Tablets when Baba talk about the great ship Nibiru came through the atmosphere, and one of the planets behind it knocked the Earth out of this position, created the iron bracelet, and the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I might even have that picture.
What happened is when this went down, the south is up, north is down. That's the first thing they tell us to disorient us from this reality. When the collision took place, it pushed the North Pole through the atmosphere into outer space into absolute zero. And the water that was splashing at the time created the ice shelves by freezing instantly. And the flash freezes while all of the animals and the people that's under the ice can be thawed out because they were suddenly frozen in a fraction of a second.
That's crazy. Now, does that go back to like what we were talking about on? I can't remember which episode. We did quite a few now, but I think we was talking on one of them. We were talking about Big Tuki and like cryogenics and all that stuff. Is that excuse me? Is that like a similar, I would say, process or unfolding of events?
Yeah. So the people that was under the ice, they say they brought them from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They say everybody got to be brought from Africa. I'm just so sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't from Africa. The Bashinga tribe did not come from Africa. They was the people froze under the ice. When the World War II scientists landed in Antarctica under the Nazi regime first, then came America and the Russians on the heels of the Nazis right after the conclusion of the war. Well, the people that they discovered frozen in the ice, they didn't know how to thaw them out. So they told them telepathically how to thaw them out from the ice. And they told them that if they didn't believe them, to study the frozen amphibians of the north. They talk about frogs and stuff that freeze in the cold climates like in Michigan. Right? The frog freeze like a block of ice. But then when it thaw out, it have chemicals in it that'll keep the cells protected while it thaw out from the deep freeze. And this is how they learned how to operate cryostasis and the recovery from being in a state of frozen. You did. Bringing you back to life. It's part of the resurrection. They was discovering this, and they was being financed by a group of billionaires, secret society members called the Lazarus Group, who was searching for the ancient resurrection chambers that regenerate the body. Today we call them med beds and healing pods. Back then they called them sarcophagi. But all of that ties back to the people that was froze under the ice in Antarctica. And they still there. All you got to do is go to TikTok and say Antarctica Bashinga tribe, and you can see them. And they're going to be telling you this fantastic tale of how he brought these half-naked people that's in Antarctica from Africa. That don't even make no sense. Africa couldn't survive half-naked in Antarctica. Shit, they can't. The heat too much for them in Africa.
Right.
Half of them can't stand the Michigan cold. How they gonna stand the deep freezing cold of the Antarctic?
Right.
It don't make no sense, man. They just tell you stuff because they figured that we believe everybody with brown skin and woolly hair is from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. We just populated the brown skin, woolly hair people populated the entire planet long before was any other skin colors.
That's facts. Science. Like we've been all over this joint. I got a couple of I'm trying to see if I got the right one, but I'm gonna pull a couple on the screen and see if these are the ones that we're talking about. Excuse me, in regards to Doc's work. So let me see. I gotta pull a few more up on the screen too, but I'm gonna move us out the way and then pull this one up and see. So trying to. Okay. I don't know. This is what this one.
Yeah, this is one of them. See how I got Nibiru, and then they called it Earth back then was called Tiamat.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then you see it say north wind, and it shows the north wind crashing into it. That wasn't
Mhm.
a ship. It was one of the planets that trailed Nibiru, but they hollow out the planet and fly the planet like a ship.
Mm.
That's the same thing they did to Nibiru. Nibiru used to be a giant star,
Mm.
and the star collapsed and became a dwarf star. Then they hollowed it out and brought it back to life. Now it's this binary star in our solar system.
Mm.
The second sun.
That's deep. And now, dude, because I know I've heard a lot about like them calling this planet X and all that stuff. I don't think we actually got into that. Is what they are calling planet X, is that considered to be Nibiru?
Yeah, they got several names from it. It's called Planet X. It's called
Mm.
Rilo 7.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
called the Dark Star, the Death Star. That's what they named it after when Darth Vader took over. Darth
Mm-hmm.
Vader is supposed to be the character name Marduk, aka Amin Ra.
Mm. And that is
Not
is he
Malachi.
listen. I got
Look, this is why Malachi had to lead the forefront in the dissemination of information to awaken the masses.
Mm.
He was the general in charge of expelling Enlil's son, Murdoch, that was imitating him.
Mm.
He took offense to it. He wrote in a scroll in the book with one of the Ansar editions. He said that one of his clones that they had made of him was in India and smoked
Mhm.
cigars,
Mhm.
right? And he was in the room talking to the sisters, and he started coughing up cigar smoke.
Mm.
That's because they was trying to harness his energy and use his energy. But the dude that was doing it was in India. That was Enlil's son, right? So the Inky's son, Marduk, Malachi, his name is Marduk.
Mhm.
But Enlil's son is Murdoch. Sound almost the same, but they two different people with two different names. But the names are so similar because they want history to blur the lines between the two characters and make them into one person.
Mm.
Like they did Enki and Enlil in the Bible when they became together Yahweh.
Mm.
They
Mm.
don't tell you they talk about Inanna in there either. But she in there.
And who they got her in there as?
Lucifer.
Okay, now we have kind of got a little bit into something similar to this. Now, is that now when you talk about them calling her Lucifer, and if I'm not mistaken, we spoke about Lilith on, I think it was one of the ones we did with Bdell. Is that like is that deity
Yep.
like the Lilith character? Okay, that's kind of like what they did with that too.
Yeah, there was the patriarch's war against the divine feminine.
Mm.
They turned Lucifer into an evil entity. Lucifer is Ain't Sophia. She was also a person. But the descriptive analysis is that she was extremely wise, Sophia. The only one that could match wits with Tahuti.
Mm. Mm. That's deep. And listen, speaking of Tahuti, shout out to
Huh?
Orisha Stone.
Oh,
And,
yeah. No.
no, I was saying, speaking of Tahuti, and shout out to Orisha Stone.
What? Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and shout out to him, but then also the people that was on the live that I was on with him. Like, matter of fact, right when I jumped on this with you, I was wrapping up with him. But speaking of Tahuti, right, he sent me a nice little care package, man, and it got Tahuti on that thing, and so we got to talking about it. I told her, like, bro, this thing is tough. I got a rocket today. He like, bro, you know, there's only two of them in the world, right? I like, get out of here. He's like, yeah, man, that's a rare piece. He said, guess who the other person is that got that one? I said, who got it? He said, Big Chief. I said, man, get the hell out of here, man. Don't tell I said, man, get the hell out of here, man. Don't tell me that, man. He said, yeah, that's the only other person that got one. I said, boy, look, we about to get it in, boy, because look, I've been on that Tahuti energy too, man. Like, for real, for real. Yes, sir. That green light. That green light, brother. Yeah. Yeah, this is yeah. So okay, now let's talk about Tahuti. right? Because Tahuti, Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, he got a lot of different names that he go by, but he's a very powerful, very, very powerful deity, man. So when it comes to, Tahuti, and even like I was telling, I forgot which call, I think it was the one with Baba Kepler Prasad, we were talking about the comparisons between the deities of Kemet and the deities of Ifa. And for me, I personally see Orunmila as being like the comparison to Tahuti, being described, right? So when it comes to this thing called scribes, and there's a lot of people who share a lot of powerful information in regards to Tahuti. Shout out to Forbidden Knowledge, Billy Carson. He's like one of the main ones that I know been heavy with the Thoth, Tahuti. Matter of fact, I think he got a book about Thoth too. But
You
anyway,
ever
when it
heard
comes,
Gerald Clark?
no, I don't know if I know that brother. Is it a
Listen,
brother?
everybody that think that Billy Carson just be talking and they need a pale face, go listen to Gerald Clark. He gonna tell you the same exact stuff that Billy Carson telling you.
Wow.
I don't even know. I don't think they know each other because I never heard of them being on the show together. But he got a book out called Mercury's Seventh Sun Rising, and
This is
he got his translation of the Emerald Tablets.
I'm about to check them out. Because I believe I got Forbidden Knowledges. I don't think I finished it though. I don't think I read it yet, but I got it if I'm not mistaken. That's dope
Yeah,
though. I ain't not.
that's Billy Carson book. I'm talking about Gerald Clark.
Got you. No, his is called Mercury what?
Seventh Sun Rising.
I'm about to look that up. Mercury, Seventh Sun Rising.
Look, all that tie back to Seventh Sun Rising, tie back to the seven kings of Israel, right? It turned back to the seven kings, all this stuff, the seven heads and revelations with the 10 horns. All of it is just talking about the number seven.
Seven trumpets.
And the number seven is the letter G. And G is the seventh letter made. Right. So when you're talking about seven in the center of the six, you're talking about G in the middle of the six. You're talking about the grand architect, the geometrist in the middle of the Metatron cube, constructing reality with the power of the spirit and the mind. All is mental, all is mind, saith Tahuti.
I got that Metatron right there behind us, man. Right there, behind it. It's been back there the whole time. I just don't light it up too often.
People be coming around me with tattoos of Metatron on. This is the real talk. They get close enough to me, they be like, "What is my tattoo doing?" I say, "Metatron trying to give me a message through you." If you stop chattering so much and listen to what's be the internal dialogue, you hear what he's saying. And then when they hear it, they get scared. What the fuck are you scared for? How you gonna walk around with a Metatron tattoo and Metatron talk to you? You scared of him?
Right. That part.
Then they start thinking about it for a minute. They say, "You know what? Yeah, you're right. Why would I wear his tattoo and be scared of him?"
Look, that's like people
I don't know. People walk around with the little guy, red dude with the pitchforks and the long tail and the trident.
Right.
Man, that's not even a character of the devil. That's Ban Samadhi, keeper of the crossroads.
Yeah. Look,
that's Louisiana, man. Listen, that's Louisiana Indian stuff.
Listen. What you just said remind me of people who be talking about their ancestors, but I don't know that they really tapped in with their ancestors, and they mess around and have a visitation to have an experience with their ancestors, and things change.
And be scared to death.
Look, I'm one of them. I ain't gonna sit here in front, but I remember when I first started. I built my first shrine. I'll never forget it, and I remember I put it together, and I had just started my journey. Matter of fact, I don't know where that book is at. It ain't right by here, but there was a book I had by Chief Louisa Tish called Jambalaya. That was like my very first.
That's my big mama.
Get out of here,
man! I've been watching, studying. Look, I've been studying her for years. She ain't never met me.
Bruh, that's where I got my start. Like literally, it was her. Like the first interaction I ever had with African spirituality from an actual priest or priestess was her. And I remember I had just came across her book somehow, and I can't remember how that happened, but I remember when I bought it, there was these two sisters that were on, I don't know if it was Facebook, but they were on social media, and I remember they was connected to her, and they did a mentorship program, and they brought her in. So that's one thing I've been like trying to get closer to the elders and the masters for a long time, man. As soon as I saw, I jumped on that program, and
Look,
put on
my
calls like,
AT big mama is Brianna Biello. We talk on the phone.
listen, now I have been blessed to meet her. I met her, I interviewed her, I pictures with her.
Look, she's sweet as pie, but she is intense. When she talking about the history and she hit that zone, she is intense with it. She know what she telling you.
Listen.
She unraveled the whole mystery right in front of my face, and didn't nobody catch it but me.
Bruh. I gotta reach out to her because she got a new book out. I saw another brother that I'm connected to online that shared it, but matter of fact, I didn't see her, but this is one of her books called "The Sheroes of the Haitian Revolution." I actually bought this from her when she came to Tampa. I interviewed her too, as a matter of fact, man. It was a dope interview. I'm trying to get her back, get her on this channel. I haven't been able to lock her down yet, but I'm gonna holler at her, man.
She busy, boy. She didn't too long ago. She had to go to Haiti because there was the ancestral call. She had to get back down there, and she called me soon as she got back from Haiti. And she said, "I just came back from Haiti. Everything is in motion." I was like, "Yeah." And then I had to call. Hey, look, I had to call Orisha Stone and Sharice and like, and Mama Banging the other say it's going down. And we getting it back in order, back in Haiti. I was like, "Yeah."
I gotta highlight her, bro, because her new book, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's called The Seven Loas. If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to go on her Instagram and see. But she just dropped a new one, man. And the last time I spoke to her, she was having a big event down in I think it was in Miami, where she had wrote a play or something like that, and they was putting a play on down there in Miami. I was trying to get her to try to get her on the pod to promote it, but the schedules just didn't match up because she just had so much going on. So, and I haven't really been able to get in touch with her since. But I'm gonna definitely reach out to her and see can I get her back in here, man, for real. You talking about a big three? Hell, let me see if I can get her in here and mess around, do one with all us three.
Hey, look, you see Tank when old boy brought his mama to the press conference, and he was like, "What, you can't say nothing now?" And he was like, "Yeah, your mom's here, man." That's how I be, man.
Yeah.
Your mom's here, man. And he was like, so now you can't say nothing. He was like, "Nah."
Listen, look,
I can't trash talk you in front of your mama.
He'll be up like this, boy. You coming that thing, go up, whoop, that thing switched it. Look, it go to the other direction if you're smart, boy. That's real. And shout out to I think it was High Priestess 1. The book that I was talking about is called Jambalaya, and it's by Chief Louisa Tish. And I'm gonna put her name in here, and I believe, I hope I spelled this right. I don't want no smoke. Chief Louisa Tish. But yeah, it's called Jambalaya by Chief Louisa Tish. I believe it's on. You can definitely find it on Amazon for sure. But yeah, that was where I first got my first exposure to Ifa and Orisha from from an actual priestess. She's a priestess of Oshun, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, that's where I got tapped in, and from there, I think it was Baba Karaday's The Handbook of E5. Shout out to Baba Karaday, and then from there, the rest just kind of opened up the floodgates, man. About the ice wall. The ice wall is not an ice wall; it's an ice shelf. And then I think you was dropping something, and I don't know what something came to my mind.
Man, we had got all off into Louisa Taish and Diana Bello and
the mothers. Nobody watching this should be
I didn't want to hear. Look, after I got out of the joint, man, I didn't want to hear nothing no man had to say. I didn't want to listen to no song sung by no man. I ain't want to listen to no lectures by no man. So I'm telling you, when I first came home and I started finding lectures, I was looking for people like Chief Warhorse, Bang the Bello, Louisa Taish. Them what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for no Farrakhan, no Khalid Muhammad. I was tired of men, period. 16 years in the penitentiary. I don't even want to see no hard legs at all. I don't want to talk to no men. I don't want to have no conversation with them. I don't want to go hang out. I don't want to play no basketball with them. I was just in that frame of man. I was so sick of dudes because they was acting more like broads than broads.
That's still happening too, by the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the worst part is that it's by design. It's not by accident.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yep. Shout
sad
out to
part is people think they choosing their life and somebody else gave their life to them. That's sad.
that's deep. That's deep though, because now listen. So when you say that, because now that, and I just had another, like I said, this was part of the meeting I was in Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. But we were talking about the Ori and like, you know, how in Orun, which we call heaven or the land of the, well, it's called Orun. It's the land of the ancestors in Yoruba tradition, or Ifa, Isheshe, right? We come to you know, the deities, and we come to the creator, and before we come back to this planet or come back into a body, come to a point where we choose our Ori, we choose our destiny in which the life that we're going to have when we come to this planet, right? So from my perspective of what I've been taught, you know, from studying in the tradition and all that, it's like we chose what we came here to do in the Orun and the ancestral realm before we came back. But because there's a lot of powerful entities at play and a lot of manipulation abilities and technologies and all that, you're telling me that a lot of people unfortunately didn't choose the life that they were given this life. Now, how does that play into, like, can you kind of break that down a little deeper in regards to that?
So what happens is this is the only way somebody can hijack your destiny. They convince you that the trauma they inflicted on you reflect the person that you are, and then they lock you into the trauma until you actually start believing the hype of the false image that they gave you. Like, nope, you don't even know how nature work, and they got you thinking that your gender is wrong. Right? That's an irrational concept on Earth. Everything know is gender except humans. That don't even make sense. We're supposed to be the most evolved of all of the species. So if we're the most evolved, we should be the most likely to know at birth what our gender is. If you watch a baby, if you change a baby boy pamper, he gonna play with his Peter.
Yeah.
Right? If you change a baby girl diaper, she gonna try to touch herself down there. They trying to check and see what equipment they got.
Yeah.
So they know who to be. But when you start taping their equipment down and putting them in tutus, telling them they little girls when they boys, you are altering their natural perception of the self.
Yeah.
And when they believe it, they act out on that program.
That's facts. And there's a it's funny because I got some notes here, some research that I got excuse me, I got on my task list, but there's a lot of stuff that they do that, of course, like you said, and we know that this is war, we know the strategy, we know all that, and there's studies that they have, I want to say, is it like Cambridge Analytica, where they're known for doing the study of media manipulation, you know what I'm saying, in order to use psychology excuse me, the way they do, kind of like when you go to the grocery store, you notice how they got all the snacks and the candy and the tabloids and all that right there at the checkout line. Like they wait until you already and went through to give you those, you know what I'm saying, those subliminal seductions to, like, you know what I mean, pull you in order to grab something else. So I feel like there's much study and research and all that they did in order to come up with these concepts. They've done a whole lot more when it comes to doing what they're doing with society and excuse me, controlling the population, right?
Yeah.
Who are the ones that are doing this and why?
So if you can effeminize the masculine, what you gonna do with the women? Who gonna have the women if all the men sissies? Where the women going? What they gonna do? They gonna follow suit. They gonna get them another woman, or they gonna get the man that wanted all the other men to be sweet, so he can be the only masculine man in town.
Now, okay, I get that. So when we talk about this whole quote unquote domination, or I should say patriarchal dominated society or infrastructure of society, how does that, like, where does that go with that? Is that why there's such a, script with the homosexuality thing, you know what I'm saying, and all the other things that come from that culture?
I can't remember the name of the book right now, but the background of the book that gave us something called a gay agenda. The background to the book was there was a group of homosexual billionaires that had all that money, but they were ashamed to express their homosexuality in the public. So they had a lot of World War II and Korea War generals that was retired with nothing to do. So they paid them a ridiculous amount of money to write them a strategy to make homosexuality more acceptable and palatable to the general public. And that's where the origin of the gay agenda, they did that in the 60s. The book came out in 87, I think, was the final result of their report.
And I'm assuming too, and I'm not sure where these paths intertwine or come across each other, but I'm sure it does cross each other. Does that tie into the agenda of population control?
Not really. They want a rogue population growth. They give them easier access to children with coming from broken homes. Right? They give them easier access to damaged women that have been damaged by down low brothers pretending they straight, ruining the girl life. It's just military. They don't look at it like we look at it, like, oh my God, he's turning the people gay. They look at it as a military pursuit.
Yeah.
Weaken the enemy and then attack.
Yeah.
Then in the Sumerian text, it tell you once the boy been anally penetrated, he's not fit to be the king. And that's why they always trying to penetrate the boys. They're trying to make sure that none of the boys rise up to the masculinity required in order to be a ruler and reclaim what's rightfully theirs.
Wow.
It's part of the rape culture.
That's crazy. And so now I'm pretty sure you heard of this as well, because that, I guess, would have to do with why there's so much, I can't remember the one. There's a lot of different ingredients that they put into food, but I know there's like one or two in particular that I know are heavily prone to, like, I guess, creating feminine or effeminizing masculine, male.
Yeah, like soybeans. All that stuff they make with soybeans supposed to be made with chickpeas.
That's what it was. That's what I was saying. Soybeans.
Yeah. Soybean spikes estrogen. You gotta remember, the vegans in the 80s and 90s was heavy on tofu.
Yeah.
Right. And if you look at the vegan back then, the vegan community was a sizable portion of them men like men. They was the most likely to be vegan in the 80s and 90s. Other people started becoming vegan through religious pursuit, but the original vegan community that became a cult. Veganism became a cult. The vegans started ruthlessly attacking meat eaters.
Yeah.
As if they didn't start out as meat eaters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they started developing a cult mentality. And within that cult, part of the paranoid energy behind it was homosexual males. And this ain't like, I don't care what your sexuality is personally, because I'm not sleeping with no dude, so I don't care what you do.
That's my stance too. You do what you do.
You
As long
know,
as you show
but
it don't matter.
Yeah, but you cut with the truth though.
Yeah.
Everybody want the truth until you speak the truth. Then the truth become the villain. The truth speaker become the villain. Becomes the, oh, I don't believe he said that. He said it because it's true.
Yeah, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like Scarface said. The bad.
But when he was telling the truth about the divine feminine, he wasn't the bad guy. But when he started talking about the conversion of males, because it's a conversion process. Look, it's a book called Manipulated Mind by a editor of Psychology Today magazine, Denise Wynn. Or is it Dennis Wynn? I don't know, but it's D Wynn. It's Dennis or Denise. But the book tell you about sudden conversion using trauma to convert people. It's a whole book about how you manipulate the minds of people. And I picked that book up when I was doing some research into deprogramming cult victims.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the books I came across that talked about not deprogramming them, but how the programming works. You got two sides. Once you program, you got to know how to deprogram. But before you can learn how to deprogram, you got to learn how to program. You can't jump on the computer and run the program and you've never seen the program before. You got to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. But that was one of the books I had read on it. That was some good information.
Yeah, because that sounds similar to eugenics. Is that like a similar I would say different?
No, psychological conversion or sudden conversion of a mindset. That's psychology. It's not eugenics is genetics.
I got you, Bob. So it'll be
Eugenics fall under genetics, and it's about producing the best DNA. Right, or eliminating the worst DNA. Eugenics is what was written by Enki as the remedy for the defective people that Enlil and his son Ninursin created in Babylon.
You know, one of the things I meant to ask you before we got off with the conversion thing. Excuse me. Are you I'm pretty sure you are, but are you familiar with like all the different elements and different ingredients that they're putting into like the baby formulas as well to kind of feminize the masculine sex too?
Yeah, they've been doing that. That ain't nothing new. We know they're doing that. Right. Look, they got stuff in the water that's making frogs have multiple genders. The amphibian is more sensitive than the human genetically. So they're gonna experience it before we do.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So
it's the same with the girls getting this bovine female hormone injected mammary gland producing, got 8-year-olds looking with a body of a 25-year-old. That stuff not normal. You gave that girl way too much milk when she was little.
Yeah. But aren't they putting that in other, like in the meats and the foods and all other foods too? Aren't they piling all them antibiotics?
Yeah, but it's real. The girls can absorb it faster through the milk.
I got you.
It's because it's a feminine hormone that's designed to make the milk cattle produce more milk. Right. So it work on the female chemistry. So when they put it in the milk, it's going to affect the boys too. It's going to give them steroid-like symptoms like bitch tit, excessive subcutaneous fat around the waistline. Right. It's going to do that to the men, but the women, the girls, they're going to start growing breasts. The muscles, the muscle tone of the boys becomes softened. Boys ain't born muscular like they was when I was little. I remember them little babies used to be looking like baby Hercules laying there.
Yeah, I've seen some before and held some too. Yeah.
Now they look like baby Peter Pan's laying there. Now they look like baby Peter Pan laying there.
Oh man. Look, I don't know why, but when you said that, all I could think of was crazy ass Will Ferrell in that one. I don't know what movie it was. When he played, was it The Elf? Oh man. But yeah, Peter Pan do got like
the one that get me for Stewart from Saturday Night Live. The big ass baby, grown man baby.
Yeah, he's a fool. He is a plum fool. But nah, that's funny because they did. Peter Pan is one of the first characters I can think of that you could tell he was a little, on the other side a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was, as far as I can recollect and remember, that's like the first one I can consciously recall that I remember seeing like something.
Peter Pan supposed to be an asexual production. He's not supposed to have a gender. That's why they had a girl playing him.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
So what is the symbolism or symbolically Peter Pan is supposed to represent anyway?
Peter Pan is the what's called the forever child, which is your inner child.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And because he's so in tune with his inner child, he can't age. So now he's going through a massive arrested development. But in the process, he discovered that his imagination, being a forever child, is so strong that he can perform magical acts like fly. Right. Then he started going to rescue distressed children that's being victimized by grown people. Right. This was the Hyoka that was called to fight against the pirates of the Caribbean. Your Captain Hook, Captain Black, Johnny Depp. Right. They sensationalized the villain as the hero. But if he a pirate, he was the villain.
Yeah.
But they sensationalized him as the hero. Who wrote that story? The victor wrote the story.
Yeah. That's sounds about right. So damn, there's another question I was gonna ask in regards to that story with Peter Pan. So now are there connections between the elves and dwarves and all that to that Peter Pan? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to be a small little character too, right?
Yes, Peter Pan was a forever child.
Gotcha.
He was somewhere between a human child and a fairy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. Now, Captain Hook was the one hunting them. You gotta go back to Ireland and study the snakes that was killed in Ireland by St. Patrick. Those were your gnomes and your elves, the Twa people that inhabited Ireland for thousands of years, but they wanted to get rid of them, so they was ethnically cleansing Ireland. The gingers of Ireland and Scotland is the half-breed children of the pale faces that came in the Twa people that was already there.
I.e. the lucky leprechaun. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, because he the only one knew where the gold was hid on the island.
Yeah. Now
that's what the church was looking for at the time. You gotta remember, when they came over here, they was looking for gold, or we would have never had a California gold rush.
The Twa people.
Remember the city of Cordoba? The city of Cordoba was supposed to have been the city of gold. That's what they was hunting for. Cortez and his army, they was looking for the city of gold, right? That's because before the Anunnaki, after the last Anunnaki pyramid war that caused the Ice Age, all of them pyramids in Mesoamerica was covered in gold. They wasn't stone. They was covered with gold and inlaid with silver, copper, platinum, and other trace metals.
Wow.
The ones in Kemet over in what we call the Middle East, Egypt, the Middle East now. I don't know where the Middle West is, or the Middle North, or the Middle South, but over in the in Egypt over there, those were covered with marble.
Yeah, I got pictures of that. They were almost like a brilliant white, or you know what I'm saying. I don't know what shade it was, but it was light bright shade. Right.
One of them was black. Two of them was white. Well, one of them was white, and one of them was like a off-white. They did something. The colors meant something, and they done something in the atmosphere. The marble was stolen off of the pyramids to build Islamic temples, mosques. That's where all of the material for building mosques was coming from during the time of not right following Muhammad, the first, second, third, fourth Caliph. When they started building those palace-like mosques, they was taking the marble from the pyramids in Kemet.
Mm. Low down, dirty bastards.
This recorded history. They know this ain't no secret.
Yeah, no.
But the problem is that the average person have no clue.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the tribe. I got a good question here. I'm gonna bring this to the floor for you, Big Chief. Shout out to Queen Tribal Protection. She said, would the floods, I guess the ones that's happening now, like in Texas, Chicago, I forgot where else, but would the
Those
floods be
Sweetwater floods. The blue candle, you gotta think, oh yeah, give me purple and blue.
right?
You think Oshun, you think yellow and white candles.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And sometimes black when she in her raven form, because somebody then pissed off Oshun.
Yeah. Raven and what's the other one? The big one too. The vulture. I believe the vulture is tied to Oshun. One of the female, I think it's Oshun. It's one of the female deities for sure. Her other side. But with
her dark side.
Yeah, because like the twins, man, or the polarities. You got one as above, so below, as within, so without. You got both. So High Priestess got another question.
The original temple of Isis is in the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The original temple of Osiris is in the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The original temple of Tahuti, we had like a whole lot of them on this land in north, central, south. Some of them is under the ocean in the Gulf, but the original temple of Tahuti was in the Grand Canyon, right? The original Buddhist temple was also in the Grand Canyon that date back to the first Ayurvedic writings. So these sites is older than 90% of all of the pyramid sites and sacred sites around the world in Arizona.
Yeah, I remember the first time I flew to Vegas, man, like just flying over the Grand Canyon. Like when I tell you I felt that energy, bro, like I felt it, that energy. Like it was powerful. Like I'll never forget that. The first time I took that flight.
They still got ancient tech in Arizona. That's why it's blocked off. You can't go there. Your ass will come up MIA by some men in black, literally, not figuratively.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a real
Look,
thing.
see if you could go to Google on the screen and type in Temple of Isis Grand Canyon. It's gonna come right up. I ain't making this shit up.
1 second.
Sometimes you have to show people that what you're talking about because they never heard it before and it sounds so foreign that it can't be true. But when you show them the evidence and they be like, "Oh, what the easy? Whoa, where you get this Negro from?"
Yeah, I found. Let's see if I can get it to cross over now. But I found something already. Let me see. I might have to screenshot it. Yeah, I found a few images expeditiously. Let me see. I'm gonna convert it real quick and then get it over to the to our presentation because I found a couple of them and I'm gonna download them right quick.
They got a parody show called Abbott and Costello while you going through that. And Abbott and Costello is going through Egyptian temple, but they in America. And in the Egyptian temple, they find the tomb of King Tut. But it's told to us as a parody. That's what. And then when the Smithsonian collected all of the artifacts, they say they found them over there off the Nile in Kemet by the Sudan. No, they got that from over here. That's why we had the first exhibit of it because they had to show it at home before they take it abroad. And they took that show on the road and made millions.
Yeah, I got I'm pulling up the receipts as we speak. I'm gonna go ahead and just share a
Look,
computer.
Tupac was rolling in his crib.
Listen.
Yeah, hey, moving my stuff around. He was rolling in his crib. Mad as can be.
Listen, Linda, listen. All right, let me see. So I found a few. So I'm gonna pull these up real quick. I'll get them over here and throw that thing up on the screen. I got 1, 2, I got like 3. Let's see. Yeah, that's crazy because I'm sure a lot of people never heard of it. But what's nuts is I remember whenever it first hit the actual like news and the media and all that. I recall. Here go. This is the first picture that I found when I put in Isis Temple in Arizona. Is what I found that. And then I found this one I screenshotted because there was a bunch of different ones. I found this one. Can y'all see that?
You see this say Vishnu Temple, Grand Canyon?
Yep. Let me move myself. I'm gonna move myself off so everybody can see. I see, like, from my perspective, I'm in the
Move
way.
both of us off and just scroll through the picture. I'm gonna find one for you.
Okay. Yeah, that because I was looking, but I didn't want to like have y'all, holding in limbo too long. But yeah, I know when that first broke, like where it hit mainstream media, when they found the Kemetic treasures and the sarcophaguses and the Kemetic busts, and I think like the gold Buddhas. There was a lot of stuff that hit the mainstream media. I remember by the time I actually saw some of it, I went to do some research. I didn't find nothing. It's like they completely wiped the net with it as far as what I could find. I couldn't find anything about that information after that one, two little articles or whatever. I can't remember what crossed my timeline for me to see it, but I just trying to do the research to get more information on it. It wasn't nothing. I couldn't find nothing. It was all crickets. All crickets. Okay. All right. But yeah, no, that's deep, man, because Arizona, now while you look that up too, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I
You
okay.
know the base of the Isis Temple, that's the sacerdotal seat of the earth. It's been moved around the earth based on which one of the daughters of Isis ascend to become the Isis of the era.
Hmm.
So if her homeland was in Europe, then she built her sacerdotal seat in the Parthenon of Isis. Today, you call the Parthenon of Isis Paris.
Bruh.
Right.
One more time for the people in the
There.
back. That
Today,
oh.
today you call the Parthenon of Isis Paris. They also call it Par Isis, which is short for Parthenon of Isis, but it means the city of Isis or the Isis city complex. 1011, 1110, born again.
That part. That's deep. Look, them numbers go heavy. So heavy. I'm gonna have to have that conversation with you off air, and then depending on how we what we decipher, I might bring it to the air. But that them numbers go real. They go deep, buddy. They go real deep, real deep. I'm pulling up the
Right. So the sacerdotal seat under Greece was given to one of the pharaoh's daughters. I'll tell you her name. I happen to have that in my the pictures say the Egyptian princess who significantly impact Greece was Arsinoe II. She was the daughter of Ptolemy I, the founder of the Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt, and Bernice I. Arsinoe II married Lysimachus, a Macedonian general and ruler of Thrace, and later married her brother Ptolemy II, becoming queen of Egypt. That's who settled Greece.
Is this the
She
one,
was
right?
the one that they called Helen of Troy, but they changed the timelines.
And Helen was supposed to be one of their mothers or wives, one of the Greek gods.
She was the Greek goddess.
Right. And was she like Zeus's mother or wife or something like that? I can't remember. I don't really
No,
know.
she spurred the Trojan Wars. Well, the soldiers hid in the Trojan horse and they gave it to a gift. That was to rescue her from the ones who had kidnapped her. Right? You gotta remember, the world wasn't taken over in 100 years or 1,000 years. It took thousands of years to subjugate the children of the earth by using the patriarchal scripts to override the matriarchal systems. They took all of the priestesses and replaced them with men in dresses. That's to trick your subconscious mind into thinking that they belong there when they don't.
Yeah, that's deep. And shout out to EI Orisha Tosin too, because I literally was just talking about this on the live stream me and brother Orisha Stone did on Instagram. I don't know if it's up or not. Like I said, I'm I'm new to this.
Take us off screen so they can see the Temple of Isis in the Grand Canyon. And I don't know if you could scroll down the picture, but on the right, you're gonna see that they got a section that say inside the temple.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull this off and see.
Right. I don't know if you could scroll down, but a little bit farther down on that same picture, they got a sidebar, and one of them say inside the Temple of Isis.
What I'm gonna go off screen, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to edit it. I'm gonna screenshot it and edit it, and I'll pop back on what you want to share real quick. I'll be right back with that too. You said which part was it that you wanted to put on? The sidebar?
The part where, you see where it say inside the Temple of Isis in the Grand Canyon. That's because it showed them that there's still artifacts in there.
Okay, I'm gonna edit this real quick. Matter of fact, I might be able to stay on screen. Yeah, that's deep. Because like I said, I never really was able to find a whole lot of information when I did any research on all those artifacts and all that stuff that was found in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the Smithsonian seized a sizable portion of them. The Smithsonian worked for the Dirty Moors.
Raggedy rat bastards.
They was part of the Masonic secret society that was supposed to keep us from finding out who we are. That's why they kept hiding everything from the giants. My mama, the queen of the Bigfoot clan.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mississippi is Bigfoot territory.
Would not be surprised.
My uncle, the one told me. My uncle, one of my daddy friends, one of my father friends called my mama Bigfoot, and my uncle always talk about he going down to Bigfoot country. And then one time I asked him, I said, "What's Bigfoot country?" He said, "Your mama home."
Oh.
My mama hated the country because of her childhood.
That's crazy,
right? But she still had to raise one of us to figure out how to reclaim everything without going through their system.
You know what? And I'm glad that you said that, because I'm about to pull up this. I'm about to pull up the part of the picture that you wanted to share. But then I got a question that I wanted to ask you that I'm shocked that it never came to my or to my spirit to ask, but I'm a damn sure ask today because it came. And it's funny, I meant to ask several times before, even if it was an off-air conversation, but it didn't. I guess it wasn't meant to be until tonight, but it's definitely gonna be, because as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna ask. So this is what I got now. This is where you're talking about, right? With the side stream. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Isis Temple Grand Canyon entrance, Isis Temple Grand Canyon inside. Right. But people be thinking we be making this up. We're not making this stuff up. It's just that we done lied to so much that when you tell the truth, it sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah, unbelievable. It really is. Like, and like, even when you're talking about, like, even like Bigfoots, for example, like a lot of the stuff, not a lot, all the stuff that we talk about, I got receipts for anything that I talk about, because I'm not going to speak on anything I have receipts for, because that's just not what I do. And I don't have nothing to prove to nobody either. Because some people, I feel like, will talk about stuff to sound smart or come off as knowledgeable or whatever. I don't know why some people do stuff like that, but I ain't that guy.
Look, just like we just did that, I can mid-conversation pull a receipt out the hat. Yeah. I can tell you exactly what to do to get the receipt on the screen.
Oh, I know. I've seen you do it on other shows.
But people be swearing up and down I'm making this stuff up.
Yeah, but see, it ain't meant for them. And that's why I talk about, like, this is for the people.
No, sometimes it's just so overwhelming to hear it for the first time that it just sound, this is the cognitive dissonance talking. It sounds totally insane.
Yeah.
And then you got another factor. The other factor is smart people sound crazy to dumb people.
Yeah. That's facts.
And then you got another factor. Dumb people that know they dumb.
Mm-mm.
Dumb people don't know they dumb.
Nope.
Right? So if you know how to dumb them down, they won't never know they being dummies.
Mm-mm.
Idiots.
Yeah, and that's real too. And then they want to go like pretty much want to sacrifice you because you do know a little something. You know what I'm saying? Or you do have access to some information. And then don't you damn sure better not have no real receipts either. You better don't do that. I don't think you should never do that again.
Look, I be telling people all the time, every day, I don't care if you disagree with me. We ain't all supposed to agree on everything anyway. And
Oh,
anybody that ever tell you that you supposed to believe everything come out their mouth, they the problem, not the solution. I came to solve problems, not to create new ones.
that's facts. Big
You know?
facts.
Yeah. I put a post up last year, and it said, I came to help people that solve people problems, solve the people's problems, coming to find out that the people that was to solve people's problem is the problem now. Because they
That's
found
facts.
out they can make money not solving the problem.
Man, I just had that conversation a couple of days ago about people who do that. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people like in social media influencer circles that are so-called influencers who are, I guess, financial literacy or, you know what I'm saying, like learning how to do a lot of different business things, but they really ain't doing what they say that they doing or what they charge people making money off of doing. Like they don't really have receipts. They just know how to talk a good talk, but they ain't really got no receipts showing that they've actually done, the things that they've pretty much stealing money from with people. You know what I mean? So that's a real thing, man. But then when those that come that do know it, or you know what I'm saying, like then it's an issue, right? That's the problem. That's the bad guy.
Look, when scientists be hearing me talk, they get giddy. How did you make that so simple? Like little kids can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look, I was having dinner. My mom was in Henry Ford Hospital, and I was up there with her because she was having issues before her liver transplant, right? So I'm sitting at the table by myself. Hear these three young doctors come in. They working on a case with a patient. And I'm sitting there listening to them. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just listening to them, right? And when they was going through the prognosis, one of them turned around and asked me what I think.
Hmm.
So now I'm having a full-fledged diagnostic conversation with three doctors. And when they got ready to get up and leave, and they told me what college they graduated from, where they went to med school, and then they were like, "Where did you go?" And I was like, "I didn't." The same thing happened to me in 1200. I was in the courthouse with my ex, right? And we went down to get breakfast before court start in the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
And the lawyer was sitting there going over the case, and he was like, "Man, I know I could beat this case, man, but I just can't see it." So now I was like, "Well, without telling me your client name, can you tell me a little about the case?" We're going through the case. And back then, I was fresh out the joint, so I was fresh out the law library. I'm quoting cases off the top of my head. I can't do it now because I haven't used it in damn near 20 years, right? So I say, look this case up, this case up. And he was pulling them up on his laptop. And he was cross-referencing what I was saying with what the case was. He's like, "Man, you're a fucking genius, man." He was like, "Where'd you go to law school?" I was like, "I've never seen a law school in my life."
Man, listen. Man, look, hey, shout out to one of my other partners, man. Matter of fact, I might have told you about him either yesterday or today when we spoke, but me and him was chopping it up. That was last night, I think. We were talking last night. Me and him was chopping it up. He was like, man, he was like, bruh. He like, boy, that goddamn right head, man. He like, bruh really is a whole encyclopedia. He like, I seen one of your listeners or guests or somebody say something about it. I was like, bruh. I said, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Ain't too many people, and I've been blessed. I'm gonna give homage, man. I've been blessed to talk to some very, very powerful, prolific minds, and chop it up and interview. And I'm like, man, bro, I'm trying to think. I can't think of too many people that I can ask a lot of questions. I ask a lot of damn questions. I don't think all of them are easy either, but I just know that the person I'm asking, I feel confident that they have the ability to answer. But that dude I mean, I don't know. It might have been one time. This just happened recently where there was one thing that you didn't go all the way in on. I was like, what? But before that, I had already made that comment before that. And I was like, hey, the only one I ever asked a question that had something for every damn thing. Every pitch I throw, he hitting that motherfucker. I'm like, God, I'm trying to throw screwballs, curveballs, sliders, change up. Boy, still rocking the ball. I'm like, God damn.
Look, I was a team leader at gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every day I'm answering questions for the team about the cars we build in the park we working on. That's regular. But then we have like regular conversations too. One day one of my team members called me over and said, Ryan, come here, man. He asked me something about some nutrition. And I started going into different vitamins and stuff. Then he turned around and he was like, man, where are you from, man? You know too much stuff about too much stuff to not be somebody important. Yeah, man, that was one of them days right there.
look, the tribe, they agree, they in agreement. Because look, when I was saying that, I was pulling up some work from Doc that I'm gonna bring on the screen in a minute. But I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking at the comments because I was pulling up the some research. But they were saying, shout out to High Priestess. She like, they were like, oh, this totally resonated. No flood my soul. Yeah, that's how we get down. High Priestess one. That's what we do, man. And I appreciate you, for showing up and showing love too. But yeah, you see. Oh man, but check this out. So we've talked about cloning and stuff like that before on here, and you shared some things that some people probably they might be like, man, you don't know what the hell they talking about, da da da, this and that, da da da. But I'm like, I ain't finna question the dude because I know, like, as far as what I know, the things that I know, he be going ham on a lot of that stuff, and he's spot on with a lot of it, stuff that I know that I have receipts for, and that I know that I know. So I know we have mentioned before, you and I, about well, actually, you brought it to the floor about Barack being a clone, and I think
He's an Akhenaten's clone.
right. So I think some people might believe it. Some people might be like, it's bullshit. I don't know. Really don't care. But I'm going to share some receipts real quick because I got them right here. In regards
Well,
to
show about the signals, huh?
look, look, I got it queued up, ready to go. Look, I just got to get it up in the doggone platform because the one I'm about to share is deep because it's all about the cloning. Well, I mean, it got a lot in it, more than the clones, but it definitely what I want to share with the clones because that's something that we've spoke. I would say both of our teachers right here. So we got these two, where you got Patrick Swayze and David Keith, and then you got Kevin Costner and Mark Harmon.
So,
Mark Harmon
right.
he's a actor too, right? And there's a bunch of them. I could pull up several different ones. So
These are not clones. They're phenotypes because at any given time, there's 7 replicas of us on the planet.
that's what I wanted to go into to get to asking the question that I want to ask. Now, what is the difference though? That's what my question is. What is the difference between those doppelgangers and phenotypes and then the clones? Because I've seen, man, when I went to Africa last year, oh my God, it was crazy, bro. I seen so many people that look just like people from here. It blew my mind. One of them looked so much like my homeboy. I had to take a picture of the dude. We was in traffic. He was in another car. I had to take a picture of the dude to send it to my homeboy here. And normally we be chewing each other. We talk numbers. We talk cash at each other all day, every day. But
So
true,
the difference is this: a clone is an artificial twin
right?
made in the laboratory.
That's too, baby. Right.
Right. A phenotype is the same tribe normally.
Mm.
People in this from a similar tribe, from neighboring tribes, they have similar features.
Right.
Right. So when you start spreading people around the world, the tribe is broke up. So you start seeing people from around the world that look like each other because they're not in their tribal community no more. But
That's deep.
remember, cloning used to be called twigging first.
Twigging or twinning?
Yeah, twigging. Yeah,
Hmm.
it means twinning, but it's called twigging. But the term was borrowed from botany. Botany is growing plants and stuff,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
twigging was how they would patch one limb to a tree that's a different tree, and make it grow with that tree as if it was part of it.
I'm about to slam my hat on the floor. Because that's funny. I was going to ask, when we was talking about something earlier. When we were talking about the genders. And I think I just learned this like within the last 6 months, bro. And it might have been on one of these podcasts. I can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody was talking about, I think it was one of the elders. I can't remember. But anyway, they were talking about trees and how trees had sex. Like you have male and female trees. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I was blown. But I think it was Baba Tolu, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to the Balagoon. But I remember him like breaking that down, and I remember we spoke about it, and then ever since then I would always look at trees because he was able to show me in his yard the difference
How to
between
tell
a
the
male
female
tree.
from the male?
Yeah, bro. When I saw it, I'm like, yo, this crazy, bro, because I never knew trees had male, female genders. I mean, I know all of nature does, bro, but I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But now that I know,
I'm going to tell you something else that's going to blow your mind about trees. If you cut the big mama tree down, you upset the whole forest.
That part I knew.
When you cut the old lady tree down, when you cut that down, it makes so many trees unrelated. They're not even the same species of tree.
Mm-hmm.
But when you cut her down, you also kill a sizable portion of the forest with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that. Because shout out to Wuna, man. She's very powerful too. She's a daughter of the IJE. I mean, but I remember we had matter of fact, it was on our private community call, and it was funny because she was about to kick my ass too because I had cut down a tree in my backyard, and she was like, "Did you ask that tree permission to cut it down?" I was like,
Oh,
"Nah." I said,
she calling you on the culture, baby.
Bruh, it's a couple people on this call right now that was on that call too. But the good what saved me is like, look, I apologize, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? And so when that happened, I wasn't where I am in my spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? So I had no idea. She was like, okay, all right, well, yeah, they're gonna give you a pass because you didn't know. But boy, but I was like, now I know because even like for us in the Yoruba or Ifa Sheshe tradition, whenever we're working with the plants, we're working with like Osiyon, right? That's the deity over the plants. We have to get permission. Like there's certain things that we have to do to make sure that we appease him before we even deal with anything that has to do with the plants, because just like all the other elements, we have to appease whatever deity, whatever energy that we're working with. There's certain access codes that have to be granted for us to get to it. So now I know, but back then I didn't know. But boy, she was ready to give me the business, man. I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know. But man, but I say all that to say,
If you ever be on the bison farm, they got this. When it's time for a male bison to force his life to an end,
mhm,
he stand on the hill, right? And he just be staring into nothing for a while. And then he goes into a full-blown rage. You gotta kill him. He'll kill all other bison, elk, moose, he don't care. Anything come around him when he in that mind frame. That's how they used to sacrifice themselves for the tribes. The spirit of the bison is the Tatanka spirit.
mm.
Tatanka means the spirit of the bison. And the
I knew that
chiefs that
name.
was from the Bison clans, or the Buffalo clans, as they called them. Later, they called them Buffalo Soldiers. They were of the Tatanka war spirit. They used to cloak themselves in the bison fields with bison pelts. And this is
Okay,
what gave rise to bison trains and hunting expeditions to slaughter the bison. The government was paying people to kill off all of the bison. And then when you do the research as to why would the government say kill off all of the bison, you find that they said the reason they killing off the bison because they was us. For every bison they kill one of us. Because in their mind, they believe that they didn't believe we was camouflaged with bison skin. They thought we literally turned from bisons into humans and slaughtered them.
bruh. I'm gonna show some tremendous respect to Yaya today, man, because shout out to Orisha Stone again, because I'm telling you, you can't make this shit up. On the live stream me and him did, I don't even know how we got into it, but somehow the subject of, like, I think it started with the number 9. It had something to do, whatever it was, it triggered something in me to start talking about Yaya Oya. And I went into talking about her because of the 9 her being the representative of the ending and the beginning and the transformation, the death and the birth, the rebirth, the elements of the storm, how they stole. I just went all into a whole rant and tizzy about it. But what's even more crazy, bro, is that I was in a meeting Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever, with some brothers, and we spoke about everything you just said, and they went into the bison and the buffalo story. But those who know the tradition also know that Oya is one of her animal symbol totems is the buffalo, like the bison, like the buffalo. So that you said that, and I know for a fact that I just had that conversation earlier tonight, and then 2 days ago. They really did sacrifice them for the sake of trying to not only eliminate the people, but the spiritual powers too, because they knew that the natives were familiar and connected spiritually to these animals. So they slaughtered them just like Hitler in the Nazi campaign. And they stood up on mountains, like mountains of like bison and
Bison
buffalo.
skull.
Yeah, skull. Like I'm like, bruh. Oh boy, they don't know what they got coming for. Ooh, because you fucking with the wrong one. It ain't none of them to mess with, but that's the last and the wrong one you want to play with when you're doing stuff like that. And wasn't it used to be a wrestler named Tatanka?
Yep. Look, he got a WWE promo he cut. I can't find it nowhere. But his face paint was black and white, war paint. And he was going into this rant about how the tribes was done over here. And they let him talk for about 15 minutes. Man, he went in. This was back in like,
Had to be the 80s or 90s.
no, it was the 90s. It was like 98, 99.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, man, I almost caught the Holy Ghost in there listening to that. I was about to be flopping around like a fish on the floor.
Bruh.
Abashiba Bakanda.
That's the wrong day to mess with, bro. Like real. You don't mess with her because it's stated that she turns into a bison or a bill. Like she, you know what I'm saying? Like she has the ability to do so. But that's powerful.
The same story is told in a different tribe as the white buffalo woman. I actually
Yeah.
know the reincarnated white buffalo woman. She actually
Yeah.
one of my Facebook friends.
Wow. It's one of my shout out to one of the Babas that was at the that was in a meeting with, man.
Look,
He
when
shared.
she first contacted me, right? I'm like, every time she contacted me, right before she contacted me, I get some kind of communication with a white buffalo, whether it be a reel or something, and then her message will pop up. It'll either be a comment on a post or it'll be an inbox, right? And I went there, I was like, who is you? Is you the white buffalo lady? And she was like, what did you talking about? So then we started chatting about it, and when she started telling me about her history and her tribal affiliation and how her mom and them was grooming her, and I was like, holy, she the white buffalo lady.
Mm. Yeah, you got some connections too, boy. I know some before you said you be getting
I
in
keep
with it.
telling people we back. The ancient
Yeah,
ones that returned in modern bodies in modern times.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Empress Brady.
Yes, sir. Returning
The
the ancient
ancestors
ones.
on the other side doing their thing.
Yes, sir. Look, so I gotta I would say high priestess, if it's me, really I think either one of us, but for me, you can send it Instagram. High priestess said, how can they send a picture of a beautiful bison skull? And if you're trying to send it now, I could send you an email address too. I could put in the comments that I could probably access real quick. But the question earlier, Big Chief, that I'm shocked that I didn't ask it before. You know, I said I meant to, but it just didn't happen. But it's on my spirit tonight. I'm glad that it came back. But the story of you becoming Chief Pontiac. Can you kind of
Mm-hmm.
share, the backstory behind it? Because all this time I've been calling you Big Chief from the day I met you, but and I know, Chief Pontiac and all that, but I never asked the story. So that's kind of like I'm blown away by myself. Like, how you ain't never asked that question? So I'm curious.
I had went over this on several different platforms, right?
Okay.
And then somebody took all of the clips and put them together, and they titled it "Rod Hayes: How I Became Chief Pontiac," and it got all of the little pieces of the story put together in one reel.
I say, yeah, I'll pull it up.
And
I'll
in
pull it up.
fact, I'm gonna send it to you so you can post it in the comments
Okay.
because I really don't want to go over it again.
I got you. Yeah, I'll do that. High Priestess said her son is a great. Yeah, I'm gonna share it real quick. High Priestess, I'm gonna put it in the chat. And then let me see. All right, I'm pulling that up right now. High Priestess, I'll get it to you in a minute. Put it in the comments, and then let me see. And then also,
all right, I sent it to you. You put it in the comments.
Okay, I'll put that in there too.
So just a little thing about chiefs. All the chief is the head of the household at home.
Okay.
You're not a public chief until you call to do public service for the people based off what you've learned in your life.
Mm.
When I was in the penitentiary, they called me Dr. Rod to Walker University. Right. Now we get to now it's Chief Pontiac, Rod Hayes, and the chief, the leader of this family, have to first be signed off by the parents and siblings. Then they sent to go stay with relatives. And when the relatives determine that they're going to be a competent leader, they sign off on them. Then they send them to the community. When the community examine you, they put you through the rigmarole to determine if they're going to accept you as a chief. Then when your community accepts you as a chief, they send you out to other communities to be tested and tried by other chiefs according to their skill set and their specialty. Angel Base sent G. Kirk in Motown to check my chin, and he didn't even know that. He didn't even know my mama was his auntie. Right? He was married to my cousin, and he knew my mama real well, but he didn't know who I was when he seen me. But he checked my chin. So any of you Stones in Motown that know G. Kirk, ask him about a Maggie nephew who chin he checked back in the day. He found out that the chin was solid and the right wasn't half bad.
look. You answered the question.
Look, in that same vein, if you in Motown and you folks go on 50th and ask about Orly Head, because he was the region I was under in Motown on 50th when me and my cousin Craig was putting in work on the blue side.
Mm. Yes, sir.
My Bison homie just killed himself a couple months, about a month ago.
Damn. You about to know.
Yeah. He stayed on me.
Mm.
Right. I don't be making this stuff up. It be sounding like, how can one person do all this shit?
Man, listen.
I be saying the same thing. I be like, damn, I can't believe I done had all these lifetimes in one lifetime.
Bruh, it's deep, man, because I be thinking about stuff like that too. And it's so funny because I think honestly, which is crazy, but I think me and you, we probably like went places and covered more ground than I have with damn near anybody else on the show. The only other person I feel like I might could say that with is Baba Ifa Carter, because we did so many shows together. We covered a lot of ground. But when me and you do shows, we go places. And what's funny about it is I don't even think I've known you 3 months yet, but I can't tell you how many people be like, yo, I would have thought y'all grew up together. I'm like, bro, it's just certain frequency just fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Because what I do know is this not the first time we've done this. I remember me and you spoke off air about somebody that you're related to, and I ain't gonna mention the name, but I know you know who I'm talking about. But and the roles that y'all come back as, you know what I'm saying, like when y'all come back. And I was just thinking like, yo, that's dope, because I know for a fact.
I know you talking about Big Brother Almighty.
Yeah, I am. Look, I'll put it like this. I'm repping some of his I'm repping some of the jewels. So I was just like, bro, like this ain't the first time we've done this. Like, because I don't know which time or which lifetime or none of that, but I know, familiar souls always coagulate back to home base with other familiar souls. That's just how it goes.
So the way that I describe it, I say we come in teams.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Like SEAL
right?
Team 6. Yep.
Yeah. So like the same energy that brought me to the forefront is the same energy that bringing Ibrahim Traore over there to the forefront.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I can go from community to community showing you we got a dog in every fight. I know where all the dogs that represent what I represent. It's just that some of us don't know where they dog at in the fight and they grab the wrong dog, get bit, and then they be mad at the dog. You should have knew your dog.
Bruh. You said something there, boy. You said something. Bruh, I was just having a conversation last night. And I'm outside just watching the stars in the sky. I think I saw a couple crabs too. I ain't bullshitting either. I think I saw a couple of them come in and pop back out. And I ain't had no phone or nothing. But when it happened, I was out there with my dog. And shout out to Chapo. And he's sitting there chilling. And then, the brother I'm talking to, I spoke about him. I spoke about my dog, and bro, I promise you, I got receipts for this too. I promise you, as soon as I said what I said, he just started barking. Like, I mean, he kept barking. It wasn't no one or two bark. Like, he went in like, yeah, I know you're talking about me, but he must have heard something too because of the way he kept barking. But as soon as I started talking about him, he started. But we both laughed. He's like, boy, yeah, he know. I was like, yeah. I said, look, that's alignment. You talking about divine alignment? That's divine. That's divine alignment. Boy, when you're communicating with nature and the elements, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope.
That's
Real
tuning
dope.
into your primal self too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and
Most of the dog men is the ones that's loners and they spend a lot of time alone. So nature just make them attracted to dogs as a companion
yes.
because of the loyalty factor that come with the dog. If I'm walking my dog, he's just as friendly as he want to be. But let a dog run up to me like he about to go into some action, all bets off. My dog just turned it from cringer to battle cat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, that's a real thing. Oh. All right. See, yeah, spirit in the night, man. I might do something I thought I never would do. I might have to do it
Look,
tonight.
I'll tell you something happened. My dogs don't be aggressive to people, right? So I tell people, I say, if my dog don't like you, you can't come around me, right? So I'm down on the dock one day and I get this eerie feeling, right? And my dog jump up, right? I turn around and look over my shoulder, dude walking up the dock, and my dog is like lit up, like, come down here, mofo. And I say, hey man, stop right there. He stopped. I said, don't come down here, because if my dog bites you, I'm whooping you.
Mm.
We in this together.
Yes, sir.
He don't act like this. So something wrong with you and you can't come down here. And he was like, but I'm okay with the dog. No, you ain't okay with this dog. He telling you to stay back. And if my dog bites you, I got to whoop you.
Yes. Because you
Because he
knew
not
better.
aggressive to people like that. Yeah, he generally not aggressive like that. You coming down here on some shenanigans and the dog ain't buying it and I ain't either.
Bruh. Well, that's so real. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
but he
real.
was froze there for a minute. And I say, I'm gonna untie this dog if you don't leave. Right? I say, and I'm telling you now, when my dog bites you, I'm whooping you. He's like, don't untie him, don't untie him. I'll leave. Yeah, I know you will.
Yeah.
I guess a sign at the front door when you come in the house. They say all visitors must be approved by the dog.
I know that's right.
If
Yes,
you
sir.
if you got a friendly dog and they get aggressive with somebody, keep that SOB away from you. The dog is telling you they ain't no earthly good.
Bruh. That's so
Look,
real.
I had a friend, and when I was a teenager, I had a white pit named Crystal. All my friends, if I don't sick her on them, she cool with.
Mm-hmm.
But one, I should have let her tear that nigga ass up.
Bruh. Like I know you talking real talk because for one, shout out to Ibatinu to Nino Bishop, which I think he came up the last time we was on the show, Nino Bishop Brown.
Man was Bishop Majestic Black Magic.
We talked about that too. That's why I said this ain't no coincidence. Like and I believe they was around and alive at the same time too. They both was out here with the shits and wanted all the smokes too, both of them. But
And look, my sister told me one day, she said, oh, you ain't gonna never have another dog like Bishop. He was you in a dog body.
bro, I swear, oh man, I wish my cousin was on here. He might be, but bro, on God, man, that's how it was with me and Nino. And he was as aggressive as he was with other animals. Like I said, he'll fight a gerbil to a damn bull or bison. Elephant. He wanted all the smoke with any and everything, no matter how big or small. He wanted it all. But with me, it was funny because he was great with people. He was great with babies. He was great with children. He was great with everybody. But
That's
anytime
Bishop.
anytime he took off on somebody, I knew right then, because I can count on one hand how many people he took off on. So I know it was something wrong with them, because every animal he ever encountered, he wanted all the smoke. But when it came to people, he was good with babies. Like I was nervous at first when I had my first one, because I was like, yo, he better act right, because I love you to life, but you gotta go, because that's, what I'm saying, that's my young king. But man, he was on him I had to kind of let him know, like, bro, don't you try that, because he was like ready to try to, I guess, protect him, and like kind of like stand in front of me. I'm like, all right, now you know what time it is. But I say all that to say he was great with people. So the few people that he did want to get to, I knew it was something definitely wrong with them people, because the same as that thing, like
If,
the one I have
the
now,
way that I train my dogs, if they don't like you, I'm not dealing with you.
Not me either. There's no need whatsoever. No need. I gotta share the
Look,
cash out.
Bishop had a son named Seven, right? And I'm in the garage. I got Seven, and then my brother got a lab mix, named Yaki. And so we out here outside in the garage, and somebody in the bushes. Yaki went one way to chase him, and Seven went the other way to try to cut him off. I was like, look at them working as a team, and they ain't never met before.
Bruh, look, it ain't no separation with spirit. It's all connected. We all
Yeah,
connected.
man,
Like,
dude was getting in the wind. I don't know what he was doing in the bushes, because there wasn't no bushes by the sidewalk, and then they was like up in the yard. Right, but I was going through some stuff back then, so it could have been somebody coming for me. But the dogs wasn't playing. They was at him. I had to dive on them.
bruh.
They was gonna get him.
Yeah, I had a situation like that with Nino. I remember it was my housewarming party, actually, with my first crib. And it's like, mind you, I had a whole, I don't know how many people was there, but it was a nice size amount of people there. And he was cool with everybody, bro. Like, everybody coming in and out. We got people in the front of the house, people in the house, people in all the areas of the house, people in the backyard. Everybody chilling. We barbecuing, playing spades, everything we do. And man, I promise you, when one of my homeboys, you about to know, he just transitioned this year too, but one of my a partner who I used to work with came, bro. When he came on the street, I cannot make this shit up. When he turned on the street, Nino went crazy. Like, he ran from wherever he was at, went right in the front window, and he was going berserk. Like, I mean, he was going crazy, to the point, bro, as the brother got there and came to the door, I had to lock him up. Now, mind you, we got, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60 people there. He's good with everybody, children, babies, everybody. He's good. Everybody, ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody asked me to put him up, because he's cool. This one brother came, bro. He went ape shit, bro. I had to lock him in the cage because he wasn't having it. And I know the reason why he was like that. But it wasn't nothing that had to do with me. But he did have something that I knew personally that he did, that I feel like picked up on it, and that's why he was like, I ain't fucking with this dude, bro.
That's the difference between me and you. Because if my dog would have reacted like that, and it's a house full of people, you can't come in here.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you cross my threshold. Your energy ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't coming in here. If my dogs tell you ain't coming in, I'm telling you the same thing. We on the same page.
Mm-hmm. And I get it, and I agree with you. But what I'll do is, I ain't gonna share it on here. But when we talk off here, I'll tell you what that reason why it was, and I think it'll make. I know it'll make a lot more sense to you. But that's what I know why.
It don't matter. It don't matter what the reason was. I could have knew the reason the dog didn't like him. If my dog don't like you, you're not coming in the house.
Oh no,
Because
I get
I'm
it.
not putting my dog up. First off, I'm not putting him up. I'm not putting him up. He live here. You don't.
Listen,
So if
we
you say
we
you can't come in, you ain't coming in. I'm gonna come outside and talk to you.
no, we all
Bye.
right. Cause look, I let him out. I let him in. I let him come in. I put Nino up for a minute, and then I was like, all right, bro, I gotta let him out, because, like I said, we are alike, and I'm like, this is his house, and he has the right to go wherever he want to go, whatever he wants. So I let him out, right? And he ran right up on. I was like, oh my god, like he really was not having it. So bro knew what it was, He ended up going outside, smoking a cigarette, you know, chilling out there. He knew what it was. So it's like I had to let Nino do what he do because that's his house. But it's just crazy because
My
that's a
dog bites you, I'm whooping you. That's all I can tell you. My dog bites you, I'm whooping you, especially at my house.
I got a few stories I'm gonna share with you off the air about that because I had a couple of situations where I was ready, I wanted to, but whoever that person was,
Look,
they took them nails all the way in.
I told my mama about my dog hate my friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me, you better listen to your dog. I said, Mama, always listen to my dog. That's why I'm telling you my dog doing. And she was like, that dog know that SOB ain't no earthly good.
Mm-hmm. That's facts.
Or he
That's
don't
real.
mean you no good is what she said. He don't mean you no good.
That's facts. Yeah, that's real. They tell you, and I know you know this too. Like I could literally, like even with Chapo, and Chapo's the polar opposite, and and I love it because he, I feel like hell. I feel like you know what's crazy? That's dope, man. This just literally just hit me just now. I would say it crystallized or it made sense, but I guess it was Nino was like me. I wasn't like that as far as wanting to smoke with people, but if people came at me, I
I
kind of
was.
I didn't want it. I didn't look for it. Nino looked for it and wanted it. I didn't look for it. I still don't. And I don't want it. But if you come and give it to me, I'm going to give it back. That's all. That's how I am. But Chapo, though,
I'm
Chapo, now
saying 50 explained it the best. 50
I'm going to
say,
highlight
50 say, 50 say, I never want a problem. But when they got a problem, I say, no problem. And now I'm the problem.
That's why I highlighted you because I knew that was coming. But I had with Magneto Stone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like spirit, man. For real. For real, for real. For real. Man. But hey, I know the timeline that we had, Big Chief, and I'm gonna make sure I stay respectful of your time, man. But with that, last question I got is when it comes to September. I know you've had several downloads and just different I feel like interactions with spirit or with with just the energy of the divine communicating with you. Have you had any updates or is there anything that you might want to share with us or forewarn or just prepare us for, equip us for or with, in regards to
Whatever it
your.
is, it's going to be some good stuff.
You want to drop it
But
now?
look, there is something that's going on that we ain't paying attention to, though.
Go ahead. I'm
They
hot.
had a massive thaw in the Antarctica, 1101, 1110, born again. This melt has caused the ocean current to reverse. That means it was a rapid melting of a large portion of ice, which is only normally done by energy weapons because you can't melt ice that fast with a blowtorch. And they said that it upset the salt balance in the ocean by melting that sizable portion of ice at one time, but they don't know what caused it. So they say. I don't believe that they don't know what caused it. I believe that they don't want to tell us what caused it.
What do you think was it
Change in
called?
current. So we're looking at the return of the sweet water because you got to remember that the ice is fresh water until it's melted into the ocean.
Mm-hmm. It gets mixed with the salt, right?
Because
Hmm.
the salt don't freeze. When the water freezes in the ice, it purges the salt. It's just
That's
like
deep.
trying to freeze alcohol.
Well, that's you look. That's the second time today that happened. I think my mama did that to me earlier. I was like, man, mess around and drove me off the road. If I got to share my little 2 cents, but you did the same thing. Like, bro, I was gonna say that because the only other element that I know personally, I know of that doesn't freeze is alcohol. So how does like the two? Because they're different. Okay, so how does that?
Salt got a lower freezing point than regular water. Regular water freezes at 32 degrees. The temperature had to be below zero for the salt water to freeze. But once it freezes, it purges itself of the salt. The first warm day, it'll start melting.
Yeah, that's that. Okay, so that's that's deep. Okay, so now this is where my little spidey senses are sending me. So when it comes to that to me reminds me of the opposite of, like, so for example, with the ice or the alcohol and the salt water not freezing. So would that be like the reverse polarity of like how when we boil water with the heat, it kind of like eliminates like bacteria, and like impurities and all that stuff too? Is that like the
Yeah.
opposite end of the
Well,
spectrum?
it kill living bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have like trace metals that's toxic, they just gonna concentrate.
Mm.
If you boil salt water until the water boil out, you have salt at the bottom of the pot. But all of the water that left won't have no salt in it.
Wow.
You can't
That's
drink salt water because the saline concentration is higher than the saline concentration in the blood, right? Which is the salt level. So when you get a IV and they give you salt water, they're giving you that salt in the level that's compatible with the human blood.
Mm.
That's what the saline drip is. It's water, but it's salt water.
You talking about
But it's
when
not
people,
as salty as ocean water.
right? And that's the one they use like in the hospital and all that when people are dehydrated,
Yeah,
right?
it's saline. Yeah. If you put salt water in there, it's going to cause massive problems. If you put ocean water in there,
Mm. Yeah. Well, there's that. Yeah. And we just had a dope conversation yesterday. HPS Empress Yemaya Faye. Like, we had a dope conversation. She went in too, but it was dope.
keep
Huh?
rolling, rolling,
Yes,
rolling,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
keep
Yeah,
rolling.
we ain't having none of that. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, Big Chief, and shout out to the tribe who showed up, man. We appreciate all of y'all. Show some love and support for the time and the energy, the efforts and the wisdom, being dropped by Big Chief and all of our guests for that matter. And then shout out again to the brother Orisha Stone. I'm gonna keep flexing with the jewels that man he sent to represent on the channel, man. So we're gonna definitely continue to do that because he got some powerful pieces. So I look forward to receiving some more packages. As a matter of fact, I got some more family I'll be sharing too that he sent to me to share with the tribe. Anybody want to jump on some, man, we got that work, when it comes to the stone. So with that, Big Chief, I appreciate you, brother. I can't thank you enough. It's always been a pleasure, always an honor, and always a damn good time and conversation, man. So with that, much love and much appreciation for you. Yes, sir. Bang banging at his
Well,
fine.
I ain't got much longer to be on social media. Then I'm
I
gonna be
know.
retired, living my life.
Listen, I know, and look, that's why I'm trying to get it in when I can, man. Get it in and make it do what it do. Cause look, if it wasn't for me being obedient, I wouldn't be here now. But I know what my marching orders was, and I know what they told me I'm supposed to do. So therefore, I'm gonna make it do what it do, and then they give me the pass. Social media too, but I ain't gonna do it before I get that green light. Yes,
I've
sir.
been kicking and screaming the whole time, so
Listen, you and me both. Tribe, y'all forgive me, but that's a real thing. But I'm gonna be real though. I feel everything. Like for real, I feel everything. So it's like feeling everything and being an empath, someone who absorbs different types of energies and frequencies and vibrations. It's not healthy for you to be exposed to a lot. Like just to be real on a serious note. So that's why I am, like you said, a loner. I am someone who I like to stay in my little turtle shell, man. I pop the head and limbs out to do what I got to do, and I'm popping back in that thing so I can stay true because I know, what it is. But I still, I
I'm a
committed.
firm believer that if I stay in my own lane and run over anybody that get in my lane, if you in my lane, you better follow the leader. But anybody, as long as I stay in my own lane, I'm gonna get to the destination I'm supposed to be at. That's why I don't be swerving over in other people's lane. I don't got time for that. I don't want to be part of the energy that ain't part of what I'm talking about.
That's fast, bro. And it's so funny because I remember the last time I saw Professor Kaba in person, he was down here in Jacksonville. Excuse me. And that's one of the major key parts of his presentation was about staying in your lane or him staying in his lane. He's like, my lane is education. Like that's what I do. I'm gonna stick with education and education. I feel like I can go out there and I could do like Mike, in education. But you ain't gonna get me on the basketball court. You ain't gonna get me in a music studio. Like he just went in like, excuse me, what he's not gonna do coming out of his lane. Like, I respect that because it was so real. I can't even break it down like nowhere near close to how dope he did, but that was like the concept of it. But it resonated with me because that goes back to me. Like, I only talk about stuff that I know, you know what I'm saying? And if I don't know it, I'm gonna be, yeah, I don't know about that. Let me know, you know what I'm saying? But what I know, and I got receipts, you know. But I know I'm here to do what we doing, and I know we're doing a damn good job, and I appreciate you. And shout out to the tribe because they doing what they do too. And shout out to, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they said finish alive at 11:10. That's funny because I think that was a number that was in today there was 11:01, 11:10 born again.
Mm-hmm. 11:10 born again, ain't that something?
Yeah, and look, 11:11
So
born.
the last thing I'm gonna say is this: most people don't know that they not staying in their lane when they putting their nose in other people's business. If you don't know them people that's talking about that topic and you don't know nothing about the topic and you start butting in with negative interjections, you in the wrong lane. Just so you know. That's it.
Message. Tommy Davidson in Living Color. We've had that on the channel a few times, and I try to tell them like very politely and respectfully, please be careful because you have no idea who. And I
And
promise
don't.
you do not want that. I promise you. And it ain't about me. I'm just the messenger. What little Scrappy say? You don't want them problems. Yes, sir. All right, Tribe, we appreciate y'all, man. So we're going to wrap it up at 11:11, which is another dope number. So, yeah, with that, Big Chief, I appreciate you, bro. I'll definitely be in touch, man. I'll holler at you, man. We're going to make it do what it do and, in divine time again. But, yeah, family, I appreciate the love, support, and y'all keep doing what y'all do. We keep rising, and it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. It ain't over till we win. Shout out to Big Chief and the whole Ashe Tribe and community. We out, family. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe. We out of here. Odabo. Peace.
ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàpọ̀ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo ṣe ní gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́ forsake not your ancestors and praise your.